As this legislative session gains steam, so will races for the White House and Congress. Arizona is once again poised to gain national attention as pundits speculate if a blue wave could definitively turn this historically red state purple. We got insight into those odds from political strategists Mario Diaz and Jaime Molera. What is Arizona's political posture headed into 2020?
I think there is an undercurrent of bipartisanship. I do believe that elected officials are really thinking about the electorate this time, and the electorate is frustrated. They're just frustrated with the gridlock nationally, and they just don't want to see it locally. And so I believe that there's going to be some good bipartisanship at the state, the House and the Senate in a few weeks to get some good work done for the people.
These state lawmakers are going to try and hustle through this session because they need to get out and fundraise. There will likely be some campaigning for candidates. How much pull, how much clout do state lawmakers have when it comes to pushing for a federal candidate?
Very little, in my opinion. I mean, Doug Ducey will have, of course, an opportunity. Right now, his poll numbers show he's pretty popular. I think he's well regarded. I don't think at a state legislative level, it really would have that kind of an influence.
We have two remarkable candidates for the Senate. Is Martha McSally vulnerable?
Yes, I think she is. I think she's vulnerable for a couple of reasons. One is that you have a strong candidate in Mark Kelly. There's no doubt about that. The issue of whether or not she's perceived as too close to President Trump, which polling data showed that tends to turn off a lot of women Republicans and independents. The other thing that's hurts Senator McSally is that the state party structure, the state Republican Party structure, right now is not seen as a very strong, viable, and they're not raising money. And that tends to be a big factor. A lot of the money that she's getting is what she's raising, but also you're going to see a lot of outside money being poured into Arizona to the tune of aggregately about $100 million. You can see Arizona become a very major battleground state.
And this is the definition of why McSally is vulnerable, is that there's chaos with a small c over on the Republican side right now. And I think Mark Kelly is just hunkering down, raising money, coming to Maricopa County so he can be better known, and really doing what he has to do, which is a grassroots campaign and solidifying that base and taking it to the next level, which is interacting with those independents in Maricopa County.
You've both said that Arizona is going to be considered a battleground state. So what is the headline out of Arizona for 2020?
Arizona turns blue.
Uh-oh, Jaime, those are fighting words for you.
No, there's a chance, but I still think Arizona stays red. I think if the Democrat, there's a lot of ifs, right? And we're just in the first inning of a long, long game. But it's going to start from the top down. If the Democrats choose a very progressive presidential candidate, I think that'll have ramifications all the way down the ticket. And there's still a lot of questions of what's going to happen. Martha McSally has an opportunity because of her experience, and now she's been a full-time campaigner now for it'll be going on 4 years. So she's learned a lot, and if she can take the lessons that she learned in the last race, that could be very helpful in Arizona.
Yeah, 4 years of being a candidate and still being tied with a relatively unknown, that's dangerous territory for an incumbent. And so opportunity, Mark Kelly.
Who do the Democrats in Arizona want as the presidential candidate?
You know, Democrats are with a varied minds right now, and it's still early, even though Iowa is just a few weeks away. But you know, the Democrats are coalescing. They're taking their time. I think we're being a little bit more intellectual and not as emotional as last time with Bernie Sanders, perhaps. There was a lot of emotions there. I think we're being a little bit more calculative because what's at risk and what's at stake here.
I'll answer that question. They want Joe Biden, the Arizonans, because if you look at everything, Joe would be a very formidable candidate across the board, especially in Arizona. He's seen as not as hardcore left as some of the other Democratic candidates, but he's made a lot of missteps, and you've seen Elizabeth Warren's poll numbers go up pretty significantly. You see Buttigieg, you see Sanders. So as a Republican, it's those candidates that would be more attractive in order to retain the White House.
Anecdotal information here, but Republicans have said they are having an identity issue. Democrats have as well. Is that playing out here in the state of Arizona?
I'm not so sure if that is or not. The other factor that's important in all this is the economy. If the economy were to continue to be robust and we don't have any kind of a downturn, that helps at all levels, from the president on down. The governor at this event today with the Arizona Chamber, that's all he talked about, was how robust our economy was.
How's the economy?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's booming, and in addition to
If Arizonans feel that that's something that's going to be continually a benefit to them, then that tends to be a huge factor. And I'm not sure if the identity issue gets in the way. It's really how the economy is working, and if people perceive that that's best for them and their families.
I agree with my friend, but there's one issue that trumps good feelings, good times, good economy, and that's seeing our women and men coming in caskets with the U.S. flag covering the casket. If we go into war with Iran, if there's continuing recklessness with foreign policy, then perhaps Mr. Biden will have a better opportunity here in Arizona.
Jaime, is Arizona, I mean, it's a military state, so is this going to play into the election?
Well, there's two sides to it. If the public perceives that the United States is being strong, and we're not getting a lot of casualties, and it doesn't turn into a full-blown war. However, we're defending our interests. And when terrorists, really bad people, are getting taken out, I think the public would say, you know what, we're strong and we're great again. I mean, those are the kinds of things that could also be a benefit to an administration. But it also does depend. If it gets to that next level and you start to see troops on the ground, then you have that, it could flip.
New issues will make people pay attention.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mario Diaz and Jaime Molera, my thanks to both of you.
Thank you.